Hi everyone, today we're going to make an apple annihilator, also known as an apple wrecking ball. I'm pretty excited for this one, so I'm going to show you the materials that you'll need for it. For this design challenge, I have 2 paper towel rolls, Expo markers. You could use any kind of marker that you have, they don't even have to be the same size. Some yarn, string will also work. Different kinds of tape. I have just the basic masking tape, packaging tape, and like the Scotch style tape. Sharpened pencils, you'll see why they need to be sharpened in a few minutes. Scissors for some cutting. And I grabbed an apple also. And this apple's gonna get bashed around a little bit, so I would not use a Honeycrisp, a real big one or a real juicy one. Pick one that's got some bruises on it that maybe you'd even give to a younger brother or sister to trick them. So just use an apple that you're not gonna want to eat. Okay, so for my design process, I have all my materials laid out. And the first thing I wanna do after I get my materials is to kind of plan what I want my wrecking ball to look like. If you wanna make yours a little bit different than mine, that's totally fine. But I did a rough sketch with some pictures of my design. I have my paper towel rolls, the tape where my string or yarn will go. And I also wrote some questions down. I know it might be a little bit reversed on here, but it says, will the pencil spin? So I'm gonna have my 2 paper towel rolls here. I'm gonna poke a hole, that's why that needs to be sharpened, through here. Will it spin enough? I need to think about how maybe making the hole bigger will make it swing better. How long will I make the string? So I have my yarn here. I need to experiment and cut the string and see how it will swing without hitting the table. So it's gonna be trial and error a little bit to see how I can swing it. The goal is going to be to knock as many of these markers down as I can with my apple. And I'm gonna think about how will I attach the string to the apple, because my stem on here is not very long. So I'm thinking this is where trusty tape is gonna come in handy. Next up is building. All right, I'm starting with my 2 paper towel rolls first. And I'm gonna poke the hole where my pencil will go. But I want my pencil to be lined up the same way, the same height down from each paper towel roll. So I'm gonna mark on here basically 1.5 inches. That's where I'll put my first hole. And I'm gonna do the same thing on my other one. Line it up right with the edge of the ruler. Right about there. Doesn't have to be exact. As long as it's about the same, that'll keep our pencil, when we have it, instead of looking diagonal, it'll look semi-straight when we make our apple annihilator wrecking ball. So I said we needed to use sharp pencils, and I went with the good Ticonderoga first. I'm going to use this pencil here to poke my hole. And again, I'm also gonna make sure that when I poke it through, I go all the way across this way. That way that it's not too much at an angle. And I'm gonna do the same thing to my paper towel holder over here, this tube. Pushing straight through, all the way to the other side. Let's see if I can go a little lower, that might look better. Now, put my pencil through both of them. And I'm ready to go with the first part. What you might want to do is make sure that your pencil is a little bit longer. And I'm going to grab a longer pencil when I do it. But my paper towel rolls, as they are now, they won't stand very easily like this. So my plan is to cut them so that they lay flat, so I have more surface area instead of just this round edge here. So to do that, I'm going to take my scissors And I'm gonna cut just a little bit, maybe 1/2 inch to start. And I'm gonna make little flaps all along the edge here. And I'm gonna start a little shallow just because I can always make it deeper later. Now, I might cut one more right here. Now, there's more flat paper towel holder to touch the table when I have it. I'm also going to use some masking tape to tape down these flaps so it's even more secure. So I'm going to do the same thing to my other paper towel holder, checking to make sure I have my holes at the top. The bottom's where I'm going to cut my flaps. It was about 1/2 inch. I'm just going to go around at the bottom. I'm going to turn these up. Sure that it lays flat here. And as I do it, I want to make sure they look about the same because I want my pencil to be lined up and not diagonal when I make my wrecking ball. Now I grabbed a pencil that has not been sharpened yet because I want to go for as long as possible in between my two paper towel rolls. So I'm going to push this through all the way here. And I grabbed a longer one because I need room for the apple to swing back and forth. I'm going to measure my string next. And I want to have a little bit extra because I'm not sure how much I'm going to have to trim off. So I'm going to do about 12 inches or a foot. I'll just use my ruler there as a guide. It's a little bit longer once you stretch it out. So I have my string. Got my apple here. I need to secure the paper towel tubes to the table a little bit. So I'm going to start off with some masking tape. And that's where these flaps come in handy. If you don't make the flaps, you could just use extra masking tape and kind of tape the side down, but I wanted to try the flaps method because I think that will increase the amount that's touching the table. Yeah, see how it's straightening out? Make sure if you do this at home, you have mom's permission to put the tape on the table. And I'm noticing already, I should have straightened it out a little bit, but what I can do is just angle where my markers will be this way. So if you're doing it at home, make sure when you tape it down, it's a little bit straighter than what mine is. Already it's feeling extremely stable. I did about 4 pieces for each side. Now, I have my string. Obviously, this is a little bit long, but we need to think, how can I get my apple on here and onto the pencil? I also want to make sure, like, do I need to make this hole a little bit wider? Will it swing? I opted to tie kind of like a granny knot, you might call it. It's like the first part of tying your shoe, where you cross the laces over. I just did that twice, and it's a pretty tight knot on here. And it seems like it's swinging okay. It doesn't seem like this has to swing in the middle. So now, I just need to get my string somehow stuck to the apple. And I don't know if I can tie it very well, so I think I'm going to use more of the masking tape. You could also try and use just regular Scotch tape here, or packaging, but I think I'm having some success with the masking tape. Now if I put it on like this, is this going to roll very well? No, so I need to make it a little shorter. So I'm going to raise up my apple. I also want to make sure that my string is a little bit longer because I'm trying to hit as many of the markers as I can. If I raise it up too high, it's literally just going to wiggle back and forth like that. So I need to find a good spot where it won't hit the ground, or the table rather. I'm going to try that. So as long as I don't get this caught on my finger too bad, I'm going to tape this piece here. And I don't think one's going to be enough. So I'm going to put a few more on here. And I'm going to just trim that off. I don't think you have to, I just think it looks better. And now I want to see, is this secure enough? I don't know, I'm starting to wonder. I want to be able to lift the apple up as high as I can. Well, it swings. Will it be enough to knock all of the markers down? And this is starting to sway back and forth a little bit. So what I think I might do is take some packaging tape now. And if you don't have all these types of tape, that's okay. I just seem to have a lot of tape handy because we're always sending things back on Amazon or whatever. You could just use more masking tape or more Scotch tape. There's no rule that it has to be exactly like I have. Start higher up here, kind of wrap it around, tape it to the table. Let's open and wrap it lower. There we go. I want to be able to have a lot of force behind this apple, and I don't want these to give way. So that's why I'm really going heavy on the tape. I'm going to put one more piece on this other side here. It's still shaking a little bit, but I think that's gonna work. Now I have my markers set up. I kind of tried to set them up like bowling pins. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to start. So I wonder if I made it too far or too close. So I'm gonna raise the apple up. I'm gonna go about halfway and we'll see if we can land it. Oh, we got all 6 at once. And it didn't fall down yet. So another thought is, instead of just using 6, what if you increase it and try to add more markers to it? And this is what I'm doing here. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I just put the bigger one in the front because I thought it looked better. Let's see if we can get all 10 down with our wrecking ball. Oh, 9 out of 10. Not too bad, not too bad. So I planned it out. I built it. Now I'm sharing the results. I think what I would do in the future is see if I can make these taller. Then my string would be longer here, so maybe I could swing out more. I wonder if I pull the apple up all the way to the top, will it be able to withstand that kind of force? Barely. And it looks like it started to tear from the tape here, so it dragged. So I can't lift it up too far. I'd need to tape it better so that it doesn't drag like that. I thought another cool idea, if we wanted to really get savage with our apples, what if I somehow broke my pencils and put spikes coming out through the pencil to knock it down? Would that make it any better? Would it just make it look cooler? I'm not sure. So, looking at one here, if I stuck the pencil through, this way here. This looks like one of those medieval morning stars, but if I notice and it comes here, it might bang on the sides of these poles. So it's just something to think about if you wanted to modify it. Maybe use a long chopstick or something longer than a pencil, and then you could put spikes on the bottom here to modify it a little bit. But I think that would be really cool to add some spikes to it also. But again, be very careful at home. You want to make sure if you have a little brother or sister, they're not getting the spiky apple ball to the head or anything like that. All right, I added the spikes, so I set it up. I think I'm gonna run into a problem here in case it bangs along the side, but I just wanted to see on the fly. I'm gonna move it over if this works or not. So I've got a couple spiked pencils in here. Let's see if it makes it any better, or maybe it actually made it worse. Oh, only got 7 this time out of 10, so not as well, but I think that if I changed it a little bit, I might get them all down. And that would be neat to like chart and tally and see after 10 tries, how many do you usually get? Is there an average? What makes it better? What makes it worse? Thanks for checking out the video and happy building. Got one.